Kia ora and welcome to Business Your Way, a podcast where I take you behind the scenes and look at the strategies, systems and support needed to grow and scale an online service business. One that not only supports you and your family financially, but one that gives you the freedom to live the life of your dreams. I'm taking the many lessons learnt over the last 2 decades of running my own business and working with hundreds of clients to bring you what's working now conversations. I'm pulling back the curtain to bring you real stories from real people, including myself. We're going to talk about everything from how to get clarity on your vision, creating systems so you can automate and delegate, how to hire a kick-ass team that creates raving, returning and referring clients. We're even going to talk about how to kick those limiting beliefs to the curb so that you can flourish in your business. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, an Indigenous mama of 3, fashion-loving sewist and business strategist. Each week, I want to help you dream big, plan well, and do the work to grow and scale your business your way. If you're ready to scale your business but you're not sure where to start, you can take my free 2-minute quiz to uncover the secret strengths of your agency owner personality type. You'll discover how you can use your strengths to scale and streamline your business without compromising you. Head to the show notes for the link, sandrajulian.co/quiz. Hey friend, welcome along. This is episode 74 of Business Your Way. Today, I want to share with you the unspoken step that will result in you achieving more faster. But before we get into all of that fun stuff, I want to invite you to a live workshop that I am hosting next week. It's designed to help you step into 2023 with clarity and focus to run your business by design instead of by default, so that you can be your best self in 2023 and achieve those goals that you've put on that plan. And if you haven't yet done your plan, or you're not sure whether you actually need a plan, then today's episode is for you. But if you want to go and register, save your seat for next week's workshop, head on over to sandrajulian.co/bestself. Tickets are only 40 New Zealand dollars, which is approximately $25 US. Alrighty, if you're ready, let's dive into today's episode. Today's episode will focus on achieving more faster, and I'm going to reveal the unspoken step that is absolutely necessary if you want to create and implement a winning annual plan. Even if you feel like annual planning is something that you just don't have time for. So you haven't done your annual plan yet, you don't have time to do your annual plan, and you're just not sure whether it's actually worth spending that time. Today is the 1st of February, and I really wanted to ask you this question before we got going. How's the progress going towards your goals? I'm sure that, like many others, you started the year with a reset mindset. You visited your goals, even if you did that in your head. You didn't write them down, but you considered your goals in your head. You kind of had an idea of what you wanted to achieve this year and where you wanted to go. And this always feels great in January. It's that time of the year where that reset gives us a new bounce in our step. Whether you step away from your business at this time of the year and take a break so that you can come back refreshed with renewed energy, or whether it's just that sense of a new year that gives you that feeling of a fresh start. It's the one time of the year that many people get to consider their goals and what they want to achieve. including myself. I personally like to do all of my annual planning at this time of the year. But usually come February, the reality of life begins to set in and that fresh excitement of a new year begins to wear off. Life gets busy, the kids are back at school, your days are full of client work and meetings and deadlines once again. So even though you've reset your goals for the new year, nothing else has changed. You're doing the same things that you've always done. If you want to get to December 2023 and be able to look back at your year and celebrate that you finally did it, whether that was only working 4 days a week, whether that was adding new team members into the mix, whether it was securing that dream client that you've been working on for a wee while now, or finally documenting your business processes. And that felt really good because you feel in control instead of it being the other way round. It's one thing to set your goals so you know where you're going, but it's a whole different thing to actually achieve them. Simply writing them down that's the first step, but that's not enough. You have to actually take tiny steps every day towards those goals. Now, I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't already know, but how do you know that you're taking the right tiny steps at the right time? How do you know what are the right steps to take? Well, my friend, this is where planning comes in. Someone said to me the other day, "Oh, you're supposed to do an annual plan?" Kind of a question, kind of a statement. To which I replied, "I never used to, but it kept me stuck for way too many years." Because reality was that I never used to plan, because once upon a time, I did a business plan very early on in the piece, but I did that business plan. It took me way too much time to put it together. I took a stab in the dark at all of the questions that it was asking me because I got a template. Someone said to me, "You need a business plan. Here's the template. Get this done. You'll get clarity." All I did was take a stab at the dark at most of the questions, and then after I finished it, put it in the bottom drawer, never looked at it again. And then I never did any kind of formal business planning ever again. I used to simply identify opportunities as the need arose. I made an implementation plan and I took the necessary actions, kind of a bit here and there. So I decided I needed to move from a manual time tracking system to an automated time tracking system. So I researched the tools available, made a choice, implemented the new tool. But it was because I got sick of doing it manually. But I hadn't planned it out. It was just very ad hoc. It was like, this is annoying me. How can I fix it? And that was pretty much my approach to business for a really long time. And the thing about this kind of planning is that it's usually in response to a shiny object that you've come across. So you've seen somebody else using some time tracking software and you're like, oh, that could be cool. Off you go down a rabbit hole having a wee look. And this might help to improve your business in the moment, but is it really taking your business to where you want it to be? The number one reason why small business owners don't plan is because they don't believe that they have any time to work on their business. After all the client meetings, the project deadlines, and being there for their team, there's simply no more hours in the day. This might sound like you, right? Or you might be telling yourself, there's just not enough hours in the day to get everything done. Or, I don't need a plan, I just need to take action. And like I said, I used to be one of those people, so I get it. But here's the thing. A goal without a plan is just a dream. A plan without action is just a wish. And action without a plan is the cause of business failure. When a business lacks a clear plan of action, backed with the right strategy, of course, it's difficult to measure progress and make informed decisions. So you need to be making the right decisions. And this is where decisions become hard because we don't have the plan in place which helps inform our decisions. So without a plan, it's highly likely that you'll waste resource, like your time, or you'll invest in ineffective tactics, or you'll miss opportunities for growth altogether because you didn't have that plan in place. And then in addition to that, a lack of planning can lead to poor communication within your business. Poor communication with your team, leading to confusion and inefficiency. And this space right here, this is where you become the bottleneck in your business. And that's not good. So to avoid failure, it's crucial for you to take the time to develop a plan that outlines your goals, strategies, and tactics for achieving your goals. The plan doesn't have to be complex. And that's what I really want to stress for you today is the plan does not have to be complex. It can be simple. We want to create you a plan with only what you need and nothing you don't. So when I learned how to create an annual plan that only contained the information I needed and nothing I didn't, everything changed for my business. It's about having the right plan with the right goals and then making time to take the right action with tiny steps every day. So if you want to achieve more faster, you need a simple plan that can be implemented with intention. Now, you don't have to do your annual plan in January. You can do an annual plan any time of the year that makes the most sense to you. If you don't have an annual plan, if you haven't done your annual plan, then February is a great month to start. If you've set goals, but after listening to today's episode, you realize that you need to get to work on a plan, then let's get to work. Let's make that plan. If you like to plan from financial year beginning to financial year end, then do that. Put some time aside in lead up to the new financial year to put your plan in place. There's no right or wrong way about doing this. The important thing is that you have a plan because having a plan will allow you to achieve things much faster. And today I wanted to share with you that unspoken step that will result in you achieving more faster. Because you can set your goals, you can create a plan to achieve those goals, but then when it comes time to taking action, you might get stuck. And there are several reasons why someone may get stuck when it comes time to taking action towards achieving their goals. Some of the obvious reasons include the fear of failure. It's common for people to have fear of failure, and this can be a real barrier to taking action. This fear can stem from a belief that your ability or your resources are insufficient to achieve the goal, so that fear sets in. Or there might be a lack of motivation. Without the proper motivation, it could be difficult to take the right actions. And that could be your lack in the goal, your lack of interest in the goal, or your lack of belief in the importance of the goal. That can be enough to demotivate you to take any action at all. You might be in a state of overwhelm. Having too many goals or a complex plan can lead to feelings of overwhelm and make it difficult to know actually where on earth do I start. So you don't. The other reason is perfectionism. This is your desire to achieve perfection, which can also be a barrier to you taking action. It can cause you to become stuck in that planning stage and never move forward to take any action because you are looking for the perfect plan. There's no perfect plan. The other one is procrastination. This is my favorite. Procrastination is where you delay doing the task or the activity. And this can be caused by a lack of focus, the fear, the lack of control, or the lack of interest, which, are just some of the things that I mentioned just before. So my procrastination is when it feels hard, I pick up my phone and scroll social media. I now know that that's my procrastinator. So I immediately put my phone down, think to myself, reframe my mind. It's going to take focus to get this done. So focus, block everything else out. You have got 40 minutes, do the task. But here's the not so obvious reason why you might be getting stuck. It's that you've got the wrong goals for your stage of business. This is the one that no one ever talks about. And it feels like you are pushing that wheelbarrow uphill every time you sit down to work on your goal that you've set. It feels hard. You've got a lack of motivation and you're overwhelmed, and it's just hard. Yes, our goals are hard, but every time you sit down to work on them, they shouldn't be hard. They shouldn't be super hard. They should just be a little uncomfortable. And this is because you may have chosen the wrong goal for your stage of business. You've probably chosen some goals that you think are desirable, and they might be great goals. They might stretch you outside of your comfort zone, and there's nothing wrong with that. We need goals that will stretch us, that will make us do things that we wouldn't usually do. But you also want to make sure that your annual plan includes goals that are relevant to where you are at in your business now. So how do you set goals that are relevant? That is a really good question, Grasshopper. You start by uncovering all the limiting factors that are holding you back from achieving your vision that you have for your business. You know your business like the back of your hand. So begin by brainstorming all of the things that, if you had time to work on them and make them better, your business would flourish as a result. So when you sit down to really focus on these limiting factors that are holding you back, you'll probably come up with a whole page like, if I fix this, that'll be better. If I automate that, that'll be better. If I could just move that, that'll be better. What are these things that will make your business better? So take a moment, brainstorm all of those things that are holding you back from achieving the vision for your business. Get out a piece of paper, write them all down. Then after you've got all those potential limiting factors down on a piece of paper, you need to identify your top 3 by performing an optimization analysis. I know that sounds really complex, but trust me, it's not. It's a really simple process, but that's the best way that I could describe it. It is an optimization analysis. So you're going to analyze all of those limiting factors, and you're going to choose the ones that are going to optimize your business now. That makes the next best step logical for your business. Your top 3 will be the ones that are both easy to implement and will have a big impact once they're implemented. So let me say that again. All of those limiting factors that you've got on your piece of paper, go through that list, identify which ones are going to be easy to implement. These are your low-hanging fruit. Identify 3 that are low-hanging fruit. And then go back through the list again and identify which ones will have the biggest impact on your business if you implemented them. And so now you're looking for those limiting factors on your piece of paper that are both easy to implement and will have a big impact once implemented. Hopefully you can narrow those limiting factors down to 3. Now that you have those identified, these are going to form your top 3 goals that you can create your annual plan around. An annual plan that only contains what you need and nothing that you don't. This is a plan that will be relevant to your stage in business, because your goals that you just put into that annual plan are the next best steps that are going to help you overcome the challenges that you're currently facing in your business. This plan will overcome some of the things that you may have been just struggling with for a wee while, but you haven't put them down as goals because everyone keeps telling you that goals are meant to stretch you, they're meant to be future focused, they're meant to put you outside of the comfort zone. But when you address the challenges that you are currently facing in your business, the things that are holding you back, they are those goals that will make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because you have to address them. Because you don't know how to address them, that's why they are holding you back. That's why they're your limiting factors. Because you haven't yet conquered how to move past them. And until you can work out how you move past these current big challenges, then those other goals that you might have on your annual plan, they're never going to get achieved. You're going to get to the end of the year and they're still going to be there unachieved because there's actually that unspoken step ahead of that, which is the step that's holding you back from moving forward with those bigger goals that you've set yourself. So when you create your annual plan around the biggest challenges that your business is currently facing, you'll be able to give your attention to the tasks that will help you achieve those goals. Those are your goals. And then what you give your attention to grows. The daily tiny steps to implement this plan will have your full attention. You'll know exactly what you need to do because it is logically the best next step to move your business forward. This unspoken step in your annual planning is what I'm going to dive into in the workshop that I am hosting to help you step into 2023 with clarity and focus. Clarity comes from knowing the right goals for your stage in business. And when you get clarity on what makes sense to work on in your business next, those big challenges that are holding you back, when that clarity comes, then it gets your focus. And you're able to focus. You're not getting distracted by the overwhelm or the lack of motivation or the perfectionism or the fear of failure. And if those last two, fear of failure and the perfectionism, hold you back, you can actually address them. You know, there is mindset resets that we can do to address those two things. But usually the lack of motivation and the overwhelm is when the goal that you've set yourself is just way too big. So pull it back in. This is the unspoken step for you to have a plan that is what you need now and will help you grow to that next level in business. So I would really recommend that if this episode of the podcast was like an aha moment to you, come along to the workshop next week, the 8th of February, and we will dive deeper into this process of identifying your limiting factors and performing that optimization analysis. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that so that you can put together your annual plan that is exactly what you need and nothing else. You don't need a whole lot of fluff in your annual plan. You don't need a whole lot of things that someone else thinks you need. You only need what you need to know in order to take those tiny steps every day to achieve your goals. come December 2023, you're going to look back and you're going to go, I nailed it. Finally, I nailed it. So go grab your ticket over at sandrajulian.co/bestself. Before you go today, I want to thank you for being here and listening all the way to the end. All the links to this week's episode can be found in the show notes, and you can read a full blog of the episode at sandrajulian.co/podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get new episodes as soon as they're released. If you'd like to reach out to me and chat about anything on today's episode or any of the previous episodes on the podcast, then I've got a link in the show notes so you can leave me a voice message or a video message. I really do look forward to hearing from you. Alrighty, have a productive week and I will talk to you again real soon.